put it this way. Peter Obi did not lose the last election. Peter Obi won the last election. INEC and the judiciary performed their magic.
We made a mistake in 2023. I wish somebody on the other side, where he was vice president to Atiku at that time. If I were Atiku, I would say, Peter, it's now your turn.
Yeah.
Here's a list of 10 highly regarded Nigerian governors. Number 1, Peter Obi, Anambra State from 2006 to 2014. His fiscal prudence and dedication. Babatunde Fashola comes in second. Lagos.
PDP begs Peter Obi to return ahead of the 2027 general election, stating that they made a huge mistake by letting him go during the last concluded election, which was 2023 general election, stating that he would have been projected as the party's presidential candidate. Meanwhile, they actually made a huge mistake, according to them, by letting Atiku becoming the flag bearer in that election. We saw what happened in that election when the big man himself, Wike, and Peter Obi were the one building PDP until at the dying minute when Atiku came all the way from Dubai and hijacked the party and became the presidential candidate, and as well dumped Wike, who was supposed to be the vice president for that election. And from all that issue that actually happened, they are saying that they have made a huge mistake and they are ready to correct their mistakes. They are begging Peter Obi to return. Of course, it's not going to be easy because Peter Obi, has an alliance with ADC and also LP. The 2027 general election is going to be a top-notch one because Dele Farotimi is backing Peter Obi. According to him, he's protesting and is agitating for electoral reform, stating that without electoral reform and laws being amended and new laws being implemented to ensure that election, voters vote, in election is being secured for the 2027 general election, that there is not going to be anything like election. Of course, we've seen it all over the time where people like Randy Peter is also talking about electoral reform, because at this point in time, we are all asking, how is our votes going to be secured? Is our vote safe? Is what happened in 2023 general election going to repeat itself, where there's electoral a glitch in a vote transmission? And up to date, Mahmoud Yakubu has not been able to give us reasons for what happened after spending billions of naira, in making sure that there's a media and website for voting was put in place, and yet Nigeria witnessed the worst election in 2023. Meanwhile, Peter Obi has been gaining support all over the places, in the north, in the west. He's been gaining a lot of support, as the 2023 election is, the race gets tightened. The Northerners are, saying that, okay, there's going to be South, is going to South back, and for that reason, if Peter Obi gets a candidate from the north, who is going to be his vice, that is going to win the election before 12 noon. Of course, we saw what happened in 2023 where he won almost all. He won in Federal Capital Territory, won, in Lagos State, where the Jagaban, is the king. The so-called Jagaban could not even defeat him in Lagos. We saw what happened and how the election was rigged and all of that. I'm not saying that, okay, he was actually rigged that, but we saw what happened in that election. You get the gist. Now let me play the full video, because the first video I'm going to be playing is the video of Dele Farotimi. The big man is strongly supporting Peter Obi. According to him, say in 2023 he won the election, and in 2027 they are out again to ensure that the election, is going to be successfully done without any form of rigging like it was done. Watch the video, guys, and stay tuned, because after this one is the next video of the PDP begging Peter Obi to return back to the party. They are ready to give him the presidential candidate, come 2027 general election.
I mean, Kenneth Ogunko went as far as saying for 2027, Peter Obi, Bola Tinubu, Atiku should move aside.
Let me put it this way. Peter Obi did not lose the last election. Peter Obi won the last election. INEC and the judiciary performed their magic. 2027, there will be no election without a reformation of our electoral system. If the electoral system is not reformed to ensure that beavers and electronic transmission from the polling unit becomes compulsory, I would not even bother to participate in that election, because you can be sure that Tinubu was not in power, that ran and snatched and grabbed it, already has the 2027 election result written. A Tinubu that will be busy appointing Wike's man as electoral commissioner, the most violent election rigger in Nigeria today, openly is Wike. That is the person whose proxy was being appointed as
that's a weighty allegation.
Electoral commissioner.
That's a weighty allegation.
I said it because it's on video. Now I beg she'll stop being politically correct. There are multiple videos and audios of Wike enforcing his political will in Rivers State over and above the sovereign will of the people of that state. Violently too. So this is not, please, I don't do beer parlor talk.
No, because
and when you need to balance things, you can, are you suggesting, okay, so let's turn it into an argument. I am saying here, my name remains Dele Farotimi, and I am saying that there are more than enough material online showing Wike violently suppressing the right of the people of Rivers State to elect their chosen representatives. And I am saying that his personal aide, his person, has already been appointed a resident electoral commission since Tinubu came to power. So how can you be talking about a free and fair election in 2027 when it's already a fait accompli that without consequential amendment of the Electoral Act, without a consequential reformation of our judicial system, the same madness that took place in 2023 will repeat itself in 2027. If we do not tell ourselves these basic truths ahead of time, how can we even hope that anything will change? We have to be unapologetic and unrepentant in pushing the truth in their eyes. As I've told you, the truth is both a sword and a shield. I love wielding it as a sword and smashing them on the head with it, and I don't care for their feelings. I don't know how long any one of us is going to live. I'm not going to live my life kowtowing to the opinion, sentiments, or emotions of worthless human beings who have wrecked the life of thousands and millions by their actions and inactions. So we cannot be talking about an election in 2027 in the presence of the multiple madnesses that have remained with us, in the presence of a situation where a corrupt INEC chairman will open his mouth and blithely declare on national TV, go to court. We can't be having that and be talking about an election in 2027. We must at least be honest enough to tell ourselves what is in front of us. If there is going to be an election worthy of his name, I will be out there supporting Peter Obi. If there will be an election, and if we still even have a country, the way Bulaba is going with Nigeria, what do we know that will be left of this country by 2027? What will be left of this country? An emir is being killed in his own domain after ransom war, and we are talking about 2027. An Oba was killed. 2 Obas, for instance, were killed in Ekiti for the other time, and we are still talking about 2027. You practically don't have a functional state again. Somebody is single-handedly, without recourse to any due process, the due process law be damned, the PPP law be damned, single-handedly without public tender of any sort, they are awarding a road at 4 billion naira per kilometer, and you are still talking about a country. Why are we lying to ourselves? We must, even if they will not agree, we must be unapologetic in telling these truths. Whether we would have a country in 2027 is up in the air. Hunger has become a real issue. So, I mean,
the government of the day will say, Mr. Farotimi, that they are making...
Which government? The government that cannot even ensure that we have fuel. Which government? Do you have government? You have exploiters, buccaneers, thieves.
But, I mean,
which government?
The government of the day will say they are making efforts in fixing the problem that they met on the ground. It's still early in the day. They just have about a year.
I'm Chinese too. I'm Chinese and I'm 6'7". Do you believe me? The government of the day has said they are making effort. We see the effort now. They are making effort. They are buying private jet. They are buying yachts. They are spending 21 billion to renovate. They are spending 90-something billion on Hajj. Is that the? And then they are falsely and fraudulently implementing Orosanye report. They are busy privatizing NNPC. We are busy refining in Malta and everywhere. We see the effort they are making. So I'm Chinese too, seun, and I'm 6'7". Do you believe me?
So you don't see any good that this government has done since the last 1 year?
Do you see it?
No, I'm asking, because I'm a journalist. I'm asking.
I had no expectation of anything good from this government. Nobody steals power to benefit the people. It does not happen. I do not expect the mercies of a thief who has robbed me. I was not under any illusion whatsoever.
Well, guys, welcome back again. You don't hear that from the big man now. Of course, Dele Farotimi is a man who does not fear the injustice that the government does. He has refused to be the type that will collect bribe from the government and keep his mouth shut. Over time, he has been a warrior in this government, in this country. He's been fighting and speaking up against injustice, against bad government, and according to him, come 2027 general election is not going to be like game as usual. If there's not going to be electoral reform, he emphatically stated that if there's no electoral reform, there is no election come 2027 general election. Of course, it's either the Tinubu and the cabal continue ruling Nigeria, or they come down and do the right thing. Of course, we've seen that over time, Randy Peter, who have always been making a lot of video about, has always come out talking about electoral reform. INEC and Tinubu has refused to implement the bill that will ensure that no vote is being transmitted electronically. This has become a debate, and they are even, there's going to be a hearing at the National Assembly very, very soon on this matter. Of course, it has always, there was the review of the 1999 Constitution, which they nearly made it to be something private. Meanwhile, they say it's going to be an open matter. Thank God for insiders are always there to leak this particular news. They said there's going to be a 1999 constitutional review which took place last month, and almost they didn't let the public know. But at the end of the day, issues like electoral reform was raised, where Nigerians talked about how their votes will be secure if they will be coming out to vote. Of course, there were some laws which they made stating that if any Nigerian doesn't come out to vote, the Nigerians should spend like 6 months in prison or pay a fine of 100,000 naira. I don't know if they've actually scrapped it out, but as it stands now, if we must come out to vote, then there must be voter security. Our vote security must be, ensured. All right, moving ahead, PDP don't beg Peter Obi. Of course, we saw what happened. Recently there's been a lot of the campees, leaving PDP and joining the APC and ADC. Understand the matter with this up. We saw a lot of big political mind like the Atiku himself dumping PDP at the last minute. Of course, it's not a new thing. Atiku actually leaving PDP. He's done it. This is the third time he's doing it. After destroying PDP, he will just leave and join another party and continue his legacy. Of course, I don't know what gives him the mind that he's going to continue coming out as a presidential candidate of any given political party. You understand? He did that in 2015. Was it 2015 when he came out contested, and he lost the election? 2023 he did the same thing, and he lost the election, and then he's actually looking for a way to become the presidential candidate of ADC. And for Peter Obi being in ADC, we are not sure that he's actually going to get a presidential ticket. Of course, Peter Obi said he still remains a Labour Party man until 2027 general election comes. Of course, let me play the full video and for you guys to take a look at and see when the PDP man was begging and saying that yes, they have made a mistake and they're ready to correct their errors. Watch the video, guys, and stay tuned, because after this one there's another video which is circulating about the things that Peter Obi has done in Anambra State, how he stopped kidnapping, how he made Anambra State the best academic city as it stands now. They are the best performing in Wike and NECO, and I know even in JAM the records are there. You understand? Even this year we saw the record which an Anambra guy actually set a new record in JAM, and these are because of the legacy of Peter Obi. He's done a lot for the states, and people are always asking questions, what have you done? So I'm going to be bringing that video right after this particular one. Stay tuned, guys, and don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe, and also share your opinion via the comment section.
Yeah. He is actively trying to woo Peter Obi back into the PDP. The PDP chieftain made the comment on Arise Primetime, adding that the party made a mistake in 2023 regarding the circumstances that led to Obi's exit. Let's listen in.
Actually, we made a mistake in 2023. I wish somebody on the other side, where he was vice president to Atiku at that time. If I were Atiku, I would say, Peter, it's now your turn.
Yeah.
Come up. I'll give you a good vice president. But they didn't do it. What I'm saying now is that in the northern states, Peter Obi under the PDP would defeat any candidate up here. Because our people are very fair-minded. They say, now look, it's the turn of the South. In 2031, it will be the turn of the South, and they are getting ready. So there is that very powerful process. Our people are very fair-minded. They are very just. We are building a nation. We don't want people to ruin this opportunity.
Now, the issue of PDP returning, Peter Obi returning to PDP and PDP begging him to actually return. This issue is something that Nigerians have been analyzing and saying, why should Peter Obi even return to PDP? Personally, I don't even support that because we still have Wike in PDP, for instance. If Peter Obi returns there, what happens to Wike? Will PDP sack Wike? Because at this moment, Wike is still a PDP member and at the same time APC member. So at the moment, there is a right for you to belong to two different political parties. He's a minister of FCT under APC. You understand? So who is Wike working for? Is he going to work for PDP or is he going to work for APC? Of course, we saw some videos ago when the big man himself, Jagaban, came out and said that he's ready to welcome Wike to APC with open arm anytime, any day he decides to come. That brings us to another question. Why is it that the Mr. President is so interested in Wike? Why is it that he's always, meddling with Wike, not letting Wike go, even though Wike is in another party? If you like say this guy don't give Mr. President nudes with waiting they sup, you understand? Because he's so loyal to Wike. Recently, we saw Wike spending about 7 billion naira in renovating ICC, which was built with over 250 million naira. A building which cost 250 million naira was renovated with 37 billion naira. Wonder shall never end. This is the Nigeria we are living in. Recently, we saw the Lagos to Calabar Coastal Road, which they proposed about $700 million. Stop playing, guys. $700 million. No be naira. It was proposed for that road, and they have started it, and they have not even gone half. And they are saying that the money has been exhausted, and they are requesting for extra $147 million. This was in a letter written by the president and sent to the Senate for approval. Another $21 billion was also sent for approval, which they are looking forward to be borrowing from international banks, world banks, and the other banks and other bodies out there, including from the Islamic banks, which are actually looking to secure these loans from. And Nigerians are just keeping quiet and we are not saying anything about it. Like this one is something that it is high time we begin to speak about it, because 2027 election is fast approaching, and for them, they are done with 4 years already. They are already writing the result for 2027, and it is either we wake up and start agitating for electoral reform, take it very serious, or we allow them to steal the power as they have always done. Right now, they're using a lot of means to actually make sure that the Nigerian minds are divided. Tribalism, we see what is happening in Lagos, renaming of streets, and all of that is going on. These are tricks and political means of trying to divide the people's opinion, because they are seeing that the Igbos and the Yorubas are trying to actually cooperate to ensure that Nigeria brings in a new candidate who is supposedly poised to take Nigeria to a different to a better place. And all they are trying to do is to bring division, to ensure that the minds of the people are divided come 2027 general election. We saw what happened in 2023 now, and they're trying to repeat the same thing again, where talks were used to beat voters out of the polling unit for them to have their time and do what they wanted to do. All right, guys, on the next slide, I'm going to be showing you the video of Peter Obi's achievement. You will not believe that Peter Obi built 10-lane highway, a super roads in Anambra State. 10-lane, one of its kind in the history of Nigerian politics in the East. This is why Anambra, you're hearing today, has become so popular. Anambra, back then, they don't go to school. They are known for just businessmen, who has not been to school, doesn't go to school. But today, Anambra is what it is in terms of academics, in terms of, health sector. Today, Anambra imports, exports the highest number of nurses, out of this country today. This is because of Peter Obi's legacy, and Nigerians are so blind to see it. Go to the academic sector, go to health sector, infrastructural development. P2B has done perfectly well. Today we've seen him going around helping the less privileged. We saw him in the University of Calabar, the other day, donating about 25 million naira. We saw him in different places. He went to one other nursing institution and gave about 20 or 30 million naira. This is just one of the things he's been doing. From January to today, P2B has spent nothing less than 500 to 600 million naira. A non-sitting politician. He's not a politician again. He's a past governor, and he's still doing great things. This is to say that P2B is a man who is willing to serve the country and not for what he's going to gain from it. The only governor who actually served and after retiring rejected all the benefits that was allocated to him as a retired or outgoing governor. 2 houses in FCT, he rejected it. 2 plots of land, he rejected it. The pension he's supposed to be receiving as a retired governor or whatever is being called, P2B rejected all of them. He said he doesn't need them. He's well to do. Watch the video, guys. Don't forget to smash the like button and stay tuned, guys.
Mr. P2B's biggest problem as a governor, his greatest sin as a politician, was his inability to invest in the media. His failure to invest in the media as a governor is the reason why today there are some quarters across the country of people speaking ill or underrating his achievements while he was running Anambra State. And so somebody made a submission, asked Grok a question. For those that are wondering, Grok is actually the AI tool powered by X, formerly known as Twitter. And somebody asked Grok a question that, can you list the best governors in the history of Nigeria? And Grok, I'm going to read it verbatim. You can see it on your screen. Based on development indices, infrastructure, education, health, transparency from UNDP, World Bank, media reports from 1999 to 2025. Here's a list of 10 highly regarded Nigerian governors. Number 1, Peter Obi, Anambra State from 2006 to 2014. His fiscal prudence and dedication. Babatunde Fashola comes in second, Lagos 2007-2015. Urban infrastructure. Donald Duke comes in third, Cross River 1999-07, tourism environment at number 4, Nasir El Rufai, Kaduna State number 5, Babagana, Zulum number 6, Dave Umahi, 7, Alex Oti, 8, Sheima Kinde, 9, Godwin Obaseki, 10, Mohammed Bago. These are, according to Grok, the top 10 governors ever since the Fourth Republic happened in 1999 up until date. And for Mr. P2B's case, he did not go around with vuvuzelas like the governors of today, branding everything he did across the media, but this man changed lives. This man turned around Anambra State. Anambra State was one of the most unsafe states in Nigeria. Anambra State was one of the most least educated states in the country. Anambra State had no motorable roads in the country. Anambra had no healthcare system. The state was a mini Nigeria until this man became. Anambra State was the first state and the only state in the history of Nigeria that a sitting governor was kidnapped. Anambra State was the only state in Nigeria up until today that the government house was burnt down. Cabals were running that state amok until this man came in and transformed that state and made the state the safest state in Nigeria, as stated by the Inspector General of Police at that time, Abubakar. He did not just change the security apparatus and turn Anambra to the safest state. He took Anambra State from one of the worst states in education and took them to the very top in Wike and NECO. He did all these things. Healthcare. He built a 10-lane superhighway in Onitsha, Head Bridge. Anybody that knows about Onitsha Head Bridge will tell you about the travel time. If you're traveling from the west to the north and you're passing through Onitsha, people spend nights, especially during the festive seasons. People spend nights just in Onitsha. This man built 10-lane superhighway in Onitsha. Federal project. This man built over 800 kilometers of roads. This man built from ground up the Anambra State University, Ibariam campus. He built it from ground up. Built the Anambra State Teaching Hospital. This man did he touched every single place of governance in Anambra State. And he was leaving, he left that state. He left that state with approximately close to 32 billion naira and over $150 million. This man performed exceptionally great, but he failed in advertising the great works he did. And years later, people are asking, what did he do in Anambra State? This is just the few I can say in this short period of time for you guys to understand that there's no governor, as agreed by Grok and ChatGPT and every other AI tool you can ask, that can stand where Peter Obi stands. And I hope he understands and have learned from his mistakes. I believe he has learned from his mistakes and he understands how effective the media can be as a tool in shaping narratives and in pushing out what you do in governance. Because if you don't talk, Nigerians will never know.
Imagine if P2B had, or is a type that, when he does things, he publicizes it, makes it publicly, and, announces it for everyone to see. Maybe Nigerians would have understood that, okay, this guy is actually one of the best governors so far, because today he's one of the most underrated governors, because he refuses to actually come out to, make things public and all of that. He's one of those governors that did a lot of things, and yet he did not name anyone after himself. We are seeing today that any building renovated or any project renovated, it is being renamed to the governor's name or the president's name. We've seen the ICC being renamed. We've seen some army barracks being renamed to Tinubu's barracks. This one shocked me. A man that has never been to war. I mean, this renaming of things like barracks and all of that are supposed to be people who has made significant impact in those specific, areas. But today, everything has become political. Like, they are making everything to become political. Trying to get things attached to themselves, showing that, okay, they are the one doing this and they are the one doing that. But then, 2027 general election is not going to be a business as usual, because the minds of Nigerians are being open at this point in time. I'm sure they are going to do away with tribalism. They're going to do away with a lot of things, which the politicians are pushing towards us at the moment. For Nigerians to actually be agitating for electoral reform tells you that, okay, they are ready. They are ready, because at this point, you going out to protest has not been able to actually achieve anything. Although Nigerians has not been that serious in terms of protesting and shutting down places to ensure that, okay, their voices are being heard. But then we are trying to exercise these civil rights through election, come 2027 election. Let me know your opinion via the comment section regarding what Dele Farotimi said, what will happen in 2027, and his support for Peter Obi. At this point in time, I think Peter Obi does not need to be a vice to anybody. Like, Atiku trying to woo him to become a vice president under ADC is something that we are not going to accept. And Peter Obi himself said that he's not going to actually accept that. He's not going to be, deputize anyone. He's going to become a presidential candidate. That is what he said. I mean, you cannot expect him to step down for Atiku or a rufai. Who is a rufai, for instance, that you should step down for? So it is either they do the right thing and hand over the presidential ticket to Peter Obi under ADC, or they will lose him and he will run again under Labour Party. Let me know your opinion via the comment section. What you think regarding the matter that is going on right now. And don't forget to stay tuned, subscribe, turn on the notification button so you get the latest videos as they drop. See you in my next video, guys.